Welcome back to another art video. So in this video I am restoring some old art. Now this piece was made like half a year ago, called Persevere. Loved the concept of it. It's just the colors, were a little bit watered down and saturated. I mean, you can see that over here. For this art restoration or revitalizing, I'm only using the same colors. I'm using the same Craftsmart really cheap purple paint, which I was using for this in the first place. Another thing which I replaced was this black. So if we look at this piece over here, which I made a day after this one, originally, this entire black background here was just terrible, because pure black on its own just does not look good, and it doesn't have a balance of color. It really makes an imbalance in all the colors. And you can see at where my signature is at, that's the original signature I had on there, and that is what the black looked like before. It doesn't look that significant, but when you have this all like that, it did not look good. With this one, I was able to sort of get away with it because of the way I transitioned it up, but I still decided to change the black. So instead of using this pure black, I mix it with a blue. Specifically this bright blue over here, and that will make a more balanced black, which overall contributes to the canvas a lot better. Now, I used to have an art teacher when I was in school, and he always said never use black, and wouldn't even allow us to mix stuff with black. He originally told me to mix blue and black together, but he despised using black as a color. So, you know what I did? I still use black. In fact, that's what the black paintings were completely comprised of, is just these two pieces right here, these two barrels of paint, black and blue. And so far the black is running low. But getting back to the painting itself, this painting, overall I found it to be a really cool concept. This is where pretty much all of my paintings started to be revolutionized. It's where they really started to get some concepts, where I started putting my original concept of deep art into painting form, with figures mainly. But as you can see in later years, such as the black paintings, that from these figures it developed into more of a mural of multiple different figures and subjects being shown. And sure, it may look a little sloppy, this one, but you gotta understand, you gotta understand yourself as the artist. You gotta understand when you made this, like how experienced you were, because it's not the criticism of any fans who is really going to get you. It's your own criticism. So oftentimes I try and enjoy my work when I made it at the time. I tried my hardest not to correct it, but I was going to spray them, so I wanted to correct them before I did that, because I'm hoping to have these hung up on my walls for at least the rest of my life. Not on the same walls, of course, but different ones. And even though the paint is, very thin, this purple paint just sucks. It is what I call transparent paint, because once you put it down on the canvas, you can still see the lines of it. And so oftentimes when I used to use this paint, I would have to go over it over and over again. And I did that here, but clearly it just needed another layer on it, and maybe even another layer after that, depending on how I apply it. Also, I guess I'll go over the basics of this canvas in the first place. It's just one figure with a black but gray leading background with, I believe that's, yeah, white paint going around here, and a blank canvas on this back part over here. So that is essentially the piece. I mean, there's this piece over here, and there's even this piece over here I was correcting. Of course, in my art process, I always like have a little bit extra paint, so I made whatever that is so far. But yeah, that's it for this video. See y'all next time.